The heifer, the heifer, you getting it? The heifer, the heifer, the heifer.
What that mean?
That mean balls.
What's up, Joe? How you doing today?
Doing good. The party's having a great morning today. I just had a big breakfast at my mother's house, getting ready for some sparring, drop the kids off, just living my life.
Alright, cool. Well, today I just want to ask you a couple questions. First, I want to know what got you into the sport of MMA?
So MMA, I've been watching it actually since I was a kid, but the first thing I started was wrestling, and high school wrestling really got me into fighting, and that eventually led me down this path. My high school wrestling coach actually was the one that introduced me to an MMA gym, and I kind of never stopped since.
Alright, so would you say that your coach was your biggest inspiration, or do you have somebody within the MMA world right now that you inspired to be like or kind of get to the level of success that they've had?
So I draw inspiration from a lot of people, right? Technically and everything, I draw my inspiration from Bruce Lee. Bruce Lee is really a big part of my my inspiration and my philosophy, actually. But what drives me is competition mostly. But inspiration-wise, it's definitely Bruce Lee. But fighters, I love fighters. I'm like a historian on that. Like I love all fighters, from Roy Jones to Prince Nassim Ahmed in boxing, kickboxing. I love Masato, he's a Japanese famous kickboxer. So there's just tons of guys that I pick a little bit from their style and I try to put into my sauce.
That's awesome, man. It's very interesting. A lot of people have very unique outlooks on sports, and you definitely have one of those. So when it comes to training, is there a specific gym that you go to or a team that you'd like to be a part of, prepare for your next fight?
Yeah, well, Orlando is a cool situation where it's a big family. There's tons of gyms out here. I train, I'm blessed and I'm thankful that I train with some of the best. I'm at American Top Team East Orlando. Fusion Excel is where we're at right now. This is the premier spot for MMA fighters. Pretty much everyone in Orlando comes here to Julian Williams for leadership, knowledge, and a little bit of guidance, because this is where you get ready and you really get ready to grind right here. But overall in Orlando, Paul Rodriguez over at American Top Team Orlando is a monster, and also my friend Jason Patino. He put gave me a lot of his time. So those are the guys. Also my friend Bruno Malfacini at Orlando BJJ. Him and the owner Brad Thompson opened their doors to me as well, and we've been able to do a lot of things together to get ready for these fight camps and make me the best that I can be.
That's awesome, my man. So at the end of the day, what does it mean for you to be a fighter? To step in the ring, to go toe-to-toe with somebody else? What does that mean to you?
I've been fighting all my life, really. Like, it's been weird, you know. Even when I was a kid, I had bullies. I didn't get picked on, but if someone started to fight with me because I was always skinny and smaller, I would always finish the fight, let's say that. I would never give up. There was bullies, some guys. I have a story one time when I had a bully back when I was in middle school, and he was the biggest bully in my life. This guy was like 6 foot something back when we were kids. He got me in a headlock, and I ended up, before I did any MMA or wrestling training, I ended up picking him up and throwing him over a coffee table at an apartment clubhouse. Okay. So this was a long time ago when I was a kid. So I always had that type of spirit in me. I never backed down from nobody, big or small. The bigger they are, the more I wanted it. So that's always been ingrained in me. In my family, my grandfather was a professional soccer player in Ecuador for a small time, and my dad was an amateur boxer for a small time. And I come from a line of men that they're all very, let's say, aggressive and very machismo, let's say, in my house. But it was always love at the house, but just a lot of fighting, a lot of watching boxing growing up, a lot of soccer.
All right, cool. So that's a great gateway to the next question. So you have a fight coming up in how long?
About 13 days. About
13 days, so it's coming up pretty fast.
Yeah.
Have you done any scouting or recruiting on who you're going to be fighting?
You know what? I look at the guys and I look at their videos and I try to see exactly what they're good at a little bit, but when it comes down to it, I have a certain game plan and I know what ways I can win, but I don't like to put myself in a box, really. I think sometimes when you have a certain strategy and you go into a fight and that strategy doesn't work, sometimes that guy runs out of that plan and then they're stuck and they're shit out of luck. So that's, with me, I go in there and I got like 50 plans. If this doesn't work, then we're gonna go to this. And if that doesn't work, we're gonna go to that. And if that doesn't work, we're just gonna throw down, fight down the mouthpiece and go hard. So there's a lot of ways I could do things, but definitely I know what this guy is about. He's good. He's a good wrestler, but I think I'm better all around.
All right. So, what are any specific holes that you see in his fight game that you feel that you'd be able to take advantage of? I see that you're a stand-up fighter. So, where do you feel that you could have that slight advantage?
I think I'm just gonna exploit him everywhere. This kid, he's gonna be tough. He's gonna come hungry. He's young. He's like 22 or 23 years old, so he's like 10 years younger than me, which isn't a big deal to me. But to some people it is, and the general public all think that that's a big deal sometimes because they're like mere mortals. I feel like some guys, you know what I mean? They go out there, they think that age is a big number. But I'm in my prime. I've been doing this for a long time. I've trained with world champions before since I first started, getting beat up day and night, training, running miles. So I'm gonna exploit everything with this kid. The one thing I got is mental strength and determination. So if this kid thinks he's gonna be able to do something, it might work for a little bit, but when they come back, I'm gonna come back hard and I'm gonna break him. I really wanna break his spirit and take the W from him right in his backyard and show everybody what the South or what Florida represents, because we're hardworking people down here, and a lot of times I think people up north, they think like, we get all that stuff because Florida gets a lot of dumb news.
Yeah,
a lot of dumb stuff happens in Florida, but we're some of the toughest, hardworking people down here, and we got all this heat, and I'm just ready to bring some of that fire.
Okay, so you touched on it a little bit right there, but I want to ask you, what do you feel overall separates you from other fighters within your division?
I think I have a certain personality and I have a certain desire, and I think that really shows in the fight. I'm not scared, and there's definitely, I really let loose and I'm free in there. That's one thing that I think, a quality that you can't really pinpoint in a fighter. A lot of guys stay really tight and they stay down to their game plan. And me, it doesn't matter. I'm going in there to kill, and I'm smooth. Hands down, hands up, kicks, takedowns. Whatever he wants, I'm coming with spinning attacks, slams. I'm just always ready. I'm always loose. If he takes me down, I'm going to get up in 2 seconds and he's going to get tired. He might get submitted. I might knock him out. To me, it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, I'm just pushing it 100%. So
definitely keep the confidence that you have. It's not a sport that you can go in there and just, not have the will to actually win. So I'm glad that you have that.
Yeah.
So with where you currently stand with your rankings, wherever you may be, if everything works out the way that you idolize it to be, who would you want to fight?
You know what? It's not who I want to fight, it's how much money I want to make. I want to be financially free. I'm doing this, there's a bigger end goal. Like, a lot of people think, like, for me, it's all about competition and one-on-one and beating that guy. If a guy thinks he's going to beat me and signs that contract, then it's all about that. I want to beat that guy. I hate that guy. I really do hate that guy. Like, I've been thinking about this guy for a long time. When I run, I'm screaming that guy's name. When I'm jogging, when I'm in the middle of practice, I'm thinking about that guy. Just so when I see his face, I have all that hate and pain that I have from years of some suffering financially and everything. I'm going to bring that to his face, and I'm gonna break them. So that's what I get a lot of my drive from. There's a lot of, and sometimes it just hypes myself up, but there is a lot of pain and hate sometimes in there, stemming from a past or whatever. You know what I mean? My parents came from a third world country, from Ecuador. We came here. When I was a kid, I was stuck having to work in a Chinese restaurant with my parents, just so, because we couldn't afford a babysitter. I had 3 cousins working. My mom was the dishwasher, my cousin was a delivery driver, I was sleeping in the back seat. So that's why I remember always grinding, always working hard. And a lot of people always underestimate me. But that's the worst thing you could do against me, because I'm always going to be there in your face, 100%, never going to give up, and no matter what, I'm going to break them.
Okay. So, man, these are some great questions, but the final one that I want to ask you is, what do you want to be remembered by? Is it going to be the drive that you have? Is it the amount of money that you make, or the amount of wins that you have? What is something that you feel you want people to remember you the most for?
I want people to, there's 2 things. Like, I want people to remember me for my great fights. I want to make money in this sport and be financially free, but I want to have great fights. I don't want to be a guy that has these boring fights. I think fighters, it's about having these fights that when people look back, they're gonna, or my kids or my family or my friends, when I'm dead and gone, they're gonna be able to look back and say, man, this guy was crazy. he had a lot of balls, and he always put it on the line, and he never faked anything. He was always there, and that's pretty much what I want to do. But I want my friends and family to remember me as a nice guy. You know what I mean? I'm always cool. I'm always happy, and I want people to always remember that. I'm always about the kids. You know, I got my 2 kids. I got my wife, my family. So that's what I'm really about, and my friends, you know. I have a small circle of close-knit type friends. Most of them are usually just fighters. So those are the only people I talk to. Fighters, my kids, my wife, that's who I care about. And at the end of the day, I want them to remember me as a good person. And at the same time, I want the public to remember my fights and to know that I was more than just a regular guy. I was someone that went out there and got what I want with my hands and my blood, sweat, and tears, pretty much.
Okay, in a sport that's so aggressive and so much pain that comes with it, you want to be known as somebody that's still nice, and it's a good balance so that people know that there's more to you than just somebody that throws fists and then gets hit with them as well. So I'm glad to hear that, man. I'm glad to have you on FA Productions today. So I hope that you train with all the will that you have and make things happen in the ring. All right, bud?
Definitely. We're going to break this guy in half. December 14th, live from the Borgata Casino. We're going to be there. I'm going to break this guy. I'm going to take his soul. We're going to go first, second, third round, wherever he wants it. I'm going to take him there, and he's going to have to come from hell and back to come take this W from me. 100%. I will be there. The party continues.
FFA Productions.
Sir. That was all right?
That was all right. That was amazing. Hey.
Come on, man. I tried it. I think we got. Yo, this is Joe Peñafiel, the party, fighting out of the flyweight division. The party's going to be fighting live Friday, December 14th from the Borgata Casino, Atlantic City. Be there, be square. Fighting out of Orlando, Florida, representing the whole South.